Welcome back, guys. This is gonna be my first video since I last uploaded. I know it's been a long time, and also it's I kind of want to get back into it because I do like just creating videos and editing. I like the editing part just because then you put it all together and it makes this cool video. Moving on, the fuel pump in my 350Z is going out, so I do have a 370 pump. That's actually my fiance's car. We just have it in the back right now. That's going to be a project for down the road that we're actually going to commit a 100% on that because right now it's completely, I mean, it's taken apart. It has no engine, it has no transmission. We sold, long story short, we sold that car in a working condition, and unfortunately, we had to do a repo on it. And when we got it back, of course, it's primed. They took off the paint on it. They took off the engine. They took out the transmission, and they also took out the seats. The interior is also almost gutted. Not completely, but somewhat. So yeah, that's a big project that we're gonna have here soon on the channel. So I did ask her. I'm like, hey, let me use your fuel pump. Almost exactly the same, except a few connections. The top hat connections are exactly identical, but however, the bottom connection for the pickup line on the other side of the driver's side, fuel tank. If you guys haven't seen the fuel tanks inside of them, it's pretty much show you guys here a quick video that I took. But that's how they are, and it splits the fuel. And then after a while, once it's low to a certain point, that fuel doesn't go to the other side where the fuel pump's located, and it can't pick it up. So you have some connections, but it didn't fit. So then from there, I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and take them apart and see if I can actually replace the fuel pump motor itself. We also acquired a Q50, and so this is gonna be a story for another time. Moving on, I already took apart the fuel pumps because there's already videos on YouTube that show how to upgrade the fuel pump motors. So I'm not gonna show you guys any of that and waste time just showing you how to take them apart. This is not gonna be a how-to video. It's just gonna be, hey, like, hey, I'm doing this in the car. I just wanted to show you guys, and I felt like editing a video, but yeah, I already took them apart. This is the 370Z fuel pump, and this is the 350Z fuel pump. Top portion, top hat. This is the bottom side for the, this is a 370Z bottom side of the fuel pump, and this is the 350Z. And if you guys would take a guess, which one would you guys think that it's the 350Z and the 370Z fuel pump? If you guys want to take a wild guess, go ahead and insert your comment below and see if you guys got it right. So this is the 350Z motor, and this is a 370Z motor for the fuel pump. I'm not sure why, Nissan decided to make them smaller for the 370Z, but I'm assuming probably has a higher output in liters per hour or gallons per hour. Still looks good, but who knows what's actually going on in there. All right, enough yapping away, and I'm gonna put this back together. Okay, after wrestling with the fuel pump for here for a bit, the one thing I will suggest in doing to make sure that the 370Z motor pump fits within the 350Z is usually this holds it's in between the filter itself and the fuel pump. But in this case, because of course the 370Z fuel pump is shorter than the 350 one, all I did was assemble it on top of it, so it's actually holding this plastic piece on top of the fuel filter, and so yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere either. So it's better to have it like that. I'm thinking, just because you don't want this to come off and then you're stranded in the middle of the road with no fuel pressure. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully it works, and see if it does. So I just gotta put it all back together with the bottom piece. And here within 5 seconds, of course, with the editing, it'll be quick. All I'm gonna do here is, of course, since I'm using the cables that came with the 370Z fuel pump, I'm actually gonna splice them and then save these for later, so that way when we get her car running, I already have the terminals to install the pump on hers. And I'm gonna splice my connections here as well, and then just connect them together, put some heat shrink tubing. You don't want to use tape on here because of course the fuel in the tape, it'll disintegrate it inside the fuel tank, and then it'll be a bad day. You might clog up your filter, or just ruin the adhesive on the tape. But yeah, I'm just gonna cut him, boom. And then my recommendation is, do not use a lighter to shrink the heat shrink on it, use a heat gun. A little bit safer. There's still sparks, but there's a less chance of this catching on fire because of course there's still fumes from the gasoline, and there's a little bit of gasoline left over from cleaning it. Got the cable soldered on here. Let's just splice them, and quick solder right here. Just gonna put the heat shrinks over. Since I already have power here because of my sub amplifier, I'm just gonna steal power out of that using some alligator clips, and it's gonna be the first and third terminal on this to be able to, test it very quickly. You want to test it very quickly because if not, you can burn it out. Uh, it's a specific setup pump that can burn out really quickly. I think it's called a reactive turbine pump. Let's test it out, making sure that the terminals have actual good contact on here, and make sure that the polarity correct. So see my amplifier, there it is. I can hear it clicking on, so that works. Nice. So we're good to install this pump on the 350Z. So yeah, the pump is a 350Z pump casing, but with a 370Z motor pump inside. Side note, you guys might be wondering why I'm wearing my microphone lower than it should be. Usually it tends to be the lapel microphones are around right here, around the neck area. Well, I bought these off the TikTok shop, of course, and I just got them because I wanted to test them out and see if they were worth the money. And I actually got them for, I think, $5, if anything. They work really good. The only thing about them is that they're very sensitive. So if I do have them up here, sometimes when you're speaking, even at normal volume, inside voice, it sometimes just there's some distortion in there, and I do not like it. So that's why I started wearing them a little bit lower, and it kind of helps with the distortion. And since they're very sensitive, it helps that too. So just get a clean sound for the videos, and if I have to move from one area to another, the camera can still pick me up really good. Okay, that looks like it's a much better look of what's going on here. Even though it's a little bit dark in here. Moment of truth here. We're gonna connect it and see if we can hear this pump prime. Why can't I speak? So I'm gonna set up my other microphone in here. Oh, that pump sounds so healthy, super healthy compared to mine. So it seems like it's holding pressure because it stops priming if the pressure's still there. Let's see if we can actually start it. Take you guys off of here. Okay. Stop priming. Well, it's weird, It's a little weird. Enough of that beeping. Okay, primed again. Now let's check it out. And it might not be pushing. So it wasn't until post-production that I realized that the microphones are not really good to have in the car while it's on, because it completely sounded like garbage. And so just what I was mentioning on this clip was that I was a little scared at first because more than likely the car was not going to start, but it seemed like there wasn't just enough pressure in the system yet build up, or I'm not sure what was going on, and eventually it did start. But my concern was that since it's a shorter fuel pump, possibly the seal was not making good contact with the pump itself and the casing, therefore the system was losing pressure when the actual pump was on. But it did hold up, and here I am just mentioning about that, saying the same exact thing that I'm saying right now, except of course this is after the fact that I knew that the microphones were not working. Okay, let's take this microphone out of here. You guys don't need to hear the pump. We'll kill this microphone. So easy to work with. shut off. So we're in this one right here, still on. Yep. And I'm gonna have to unplug it because I need to put the cover on here. And let's see how long the car lasts before it dies. Oh, starting to kind of sputter there, and it's gone. So that's it quite some time. Cool. So let me get this on right away, guys, and we'll go here in a bit for a test drive. Overall, the car feels really responsive now. It feels a lot better than it did, and I know for a fact it's not a placebo effect. It's just that other pump was giving out. So, um, yeah, I mean, it pulled its weight, 293,000 miles. If that's the original pump, I'm impressed. It's the following day after I replaced the fuel pump, and I'm driving into town, and I drove the exact same way that the car will start kind of bugging out, and so far so good. The car is doing really good. So yeah, that pump was on its way out, and then I caught it just in time because I almost got stranded one time. Luckily, I was able to start it up again and drive it home, and then after that, I was always kind of skeptical to drive the car because I didn't know when that fuel pump was going to give up. And then after replacing the fuel pump last night, I actually took the time to go ahead and wash the car because it was filthy. I do not like having the car dirty. So yeah, I did a quick wash on it, put some tire shine, and looks really good. Anyways, if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like so that way more people can see it. If you guys have any questions regarding VQ engines, go ahead and drop a comment. I'll try to answer there. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.